Only in Kentucky could one county be the birthplace of the zombie apocalypse, and the only place on Earth that manufactures every single post-it note you have in your desk drawer. Hi, I'm Michael, and I'm learning a little bit more about Kentucky, one county at a time, all 120 of them. And today, I'm learning about Harrison County. If you haven't done it already, I do hope you check out the other counties I've covered. They're all listed in the playlist on my profile. If I haven't covered yours yet, I'll get to it soon. I'm mostly going in alphabetical order. And as always, if I miss something, feel free to correct me in the comments, so that way, we can all learn together. Harrison County was officially established in December of 1793. It was the 17th county formed in the Commonwealth, carved out of parts of Bourbon and Scott counties. It was named for Colonel Benjamin Harrison. He was a pioneer and a framer of the Kentucky Constitution, and is often confused with the president who shared his name, but it's not that one. This Benjamin Harrison was a local leader who advocated for Kentucky's statehood from the very beginning. The county seat is Cynthiana, and the story of its name is one of the most charming in the state. The town was established in 1793 as well on land donated by a man named Robert Harrison, which I believe is Benjamin's son. Anyway, Robert didn't name the settlement of Cynthiana after royalty or anything. Instead, he combined the names of his two daughters, Cynthia and Anna. In the early 1800s, Cynthiana was a frontier hub growing on both sides of the South Fork of the Licking River. If you walk through downtown today, you're looking at the second largest collection of mid-19th century cast iron storefronts in the entire state. These buildings survived a lot, including the chaos of the Civil War. These iron facades were high-tech for the 1800s, designed to look like stone, but built to withstand the test of time. The first Battle of Cynthiana happened in July of 1862 as part of John Hunt Morgan's first raid. But it was Morgan's last raid in June of 1864 that turned the town into a furnace. In an attempt to flush out Union soldiers, Morgan's troops set fire to a stable. That fire quickly spread, destroying most of the downtown area. The fighting was so intense that Battle Grove Cemetery was eventually named for the conflict that took place on its very grounds. But thankfully, history in Harrison County isn't just about battles. In January of 1877, the sky literally fell on Cynthiana. A rare meteorite crashed into the town. It was a 6-kilogram stone that became a scientific sensation, and the Cynthiana meteorite is still studied by researchers today as a window into the early solar system. If you head out of Cynthiana, you'll eventually find the city of Barry. It was incorporated in 1867 as Berryville before becoming Barry Station. It sits right on the bank of the Licking River and serves as a reminder of how the railroad transformed these small communities into essential shipping points. At its peak, Barry was a bustling rail stop that brought travelers and trade deep into the northern part of the county. Now, if we're talking about a compelling character who defines this place for the modern world, we have to talk about an individual named Robert Kirkman. He was born in Cynthiana, and along with artist Tony Moore, who's also from here, created one of the biggest media franchises in modern history, The Walking Dead. In the original comic series, the protagonist Rick Grimes lives in Cynthiana. The opening scenes of the entire saga, like the hospital where Rick wakes up in, are set right there at Harrison Memorial Hospital. And today the city embraces this undead legacy with the world's largest Walking Dead mural, painted by Tony Moore himself, on the side of a building downtown. It's turned this bluegrass town into a global pilgrimage site for horror fans. But while the world looks to Cynthiana for zombies, the global economy looks here for something much more practical. Since 1969, the 3M plant in Cynthiana has been the industrial heartbeat of the county. In 1972, employees have helped develop a little invention called the Post-it note. And for decades, this plant was the only place in the entire world where Post-it notes were manufactured. Even today, I read that it still produces nearly the entire world's supply. So if you have a yellow sticky note on your computer right now, it almost certainly started its life in Harrison County. Alongside 3M, the E.D. Bullard Company is another industrial giant. They invented the hard hat back in 1919 and continue to manufacture a huge range of safety equipment in Cynthiana. It's a county that literally builds the gear that protects the American workforce. This tradition of industry is deep-rooted. Cynthiana once boasted over 30 distilleries and dozens of saloons, producing world-famous bourbon brands like Old A. Keller, Old Van Hook, and Old Poindexter. Of course, life hasn't always been easy there. In March of 1997, the South Fork of the Licking River hit record flood levels, causing extensive damage that the community had to work for years to repair. And more recently, in March 2020, Harrison County became the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic in Kentucky, where the very first case in the state was diagnosed right there. And through it all, the community keeps its spirit alive through its festivals and local landmarks. Every year, they host Raggedy Ann Day to recognize the creator Johnny Gruel's family ties to the city. Apologies if I've pronounced that incorrectly. His family's lived there for generations, and the doll's legacy is woven into the town's folk history. They also gather for the Cynthiana Music Series and fill the Rose Opera House, which is the oldest historic theater in Kentucky. Built in 1871, it has seen everything from vaudeville to modern cinema, and according to local legend, it is one of the most haunted buildings in the state, housing spirits that linger in the rafters. If you explore the rest of the county, in the incorporated areas at least, you can visit Leesburg, which in the 19th century was a bustling spot with a hotel and 6 different stores. You can also find Stony Castle, a massive limestone residence built in 1807 that still stands as a testament to pioneer craftsmanship. Again, driving through the back roads, you'll hit spots like Audville, which was established in 1799. The name was chosen specifically so the post office would have a unique name that couldn't be confused with anywhere else. You also have Lair, Sunrise, Morning Glory, and Buena Vista. These communities were built on the back of burley tobacco, a crop that made Harrison County a global hub as well. At the peak of production, this county ranked 8th in the state for tobacco, selling over 20 million pounds a year. The county is also the birthplace of legends such as Walter E. Scott, famously known as Death Valley Scotty, born right there in Cynthiana before he became a legendary con man and namesake of Scotty's Castle in California. And if you're a Kentucky basketball fan, you know that Joe B. Hall, the legendary UK coach who led the Wildcats to the 1978 national championship, was born and raised right there. Today, Harrison County has a population of almost 20,000 people. It remains a place of contrast where you can walk past the 1886 jail built from locally quarried limestone, see the birthplace of 2020 Kentucky Derby winner Authentic, and then take a selfie with the zombie mural. So, that's Harrison County. What'd I get wrong this time?